Dorothea Lange was an American documentary photographer and photojournalist best known for her Depression-era work for the Farm Security Administration. Lange's photographs influenced the development of documentary photography and humanized the consequences of the Great Depression. She used black and white photography mostly because color film was rare, expensive, and difficult to process. However, many documentary photographers felt that color would distract the viewer and change the intention of the photograph. Her work has been presented in museums, online galleries and archives, newspapers, magazines, and more. Originally, Lange was just a portrait photographer, but the events of the time prompted her to leave the safety of her studio to create powerful images of people in crisis. Through her photographs, Lange hoped to create awareness of their suffering and the need for government relief. The three images I will be critiquing are from her collection titled The Depression. Beginning in 1934, states in the Great Plains were hit with severe drought. Combined with the financial crisis of the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl uprooted thousands of small farmers. Dorothea Lange was hired by the state of California to document the plight of these Dust Bowl refugees. This photograph, titled Dust Bowl Farm, Coldwater District, near Dalhart, Texas, was taken in Dalhart, Texas in June of 1938. It is an image taken from a sub-collection titled The Dust Bowl. In this photo of what looks like a lifeless, abandoned farm, Lange used a head-on approach to create a direct connection with the viewer and a most realistic representation of what an individual would see if he or she was actually standing in her shoes at that moment. It is clear that she used side lighting to capture this photo because of the shadows casted by the arid crops scattered along the barren ground. The lighting highlights the rough, brittle texture of the crops and the sandy, dry terrain. The shadows and highlights give the crops a 3D look. This image is descriptive simply because it offers the viewer a visual of what most of the land looked like in the Great Plains during this period. Entire families were escaping drought and dust storms in the Midwest, looking for work in California. Lange captured the harsh realities of life on the road and helped create national sympathy for migrants. This photo, titled Homeless Family, Oklahoma, was taken in Atoka County, Oklahoma on June 16, 1938. It is an image taken from a sub-collection titled On the Road. This photo shows a small family walking down an unpaved road together. Although the family of 5 is the main focus in this photograph, the one-point perspective draws the viewer's attention down the long, narrow road. The visual of this family, with only themselves and a few belongings walking down a seemingly never-ending road, creates a feeling of hopelessness and allows the viewer to sympathize with them. The use of side lighting is indicated by the family members' shadows. Looking at the length of their shadows, this image was probably captured in late afternoon, not long before the sun set. From this observation, the viewer can conclude that the family had potentially been traveling all day long and that they still had a long road ahead of them. As Dust Bowl refugees headed west across America, the lack of safe, clean camps to house migrant families became a national emergency. Lange's photographs of people camped by the road or looking for work awoke public awareness and became powerful arguments for government assistance. This photograph, titled Migratory Workers Camp on the Plains, Kern Co., Bakersfield, Drought Refugee Family, was taken in Bakersfield, California on February 1, 1935. It is an image taken from a sub-collection titled In the Camps. This photo displays a wagon and a small tent containing one bed, a few personal items, and a young boy, located in a desolate field. Lange used a head-on bullseye approach to focus the viewer's attention on the tent and wagon. Although a bullseye composition can create less dynamic and duller images, Lange's intentions for capturing these images were not to create aesthetically evaluative photos, but rather to document the struggle and suffering of Americans during the Depression. This photo was taken in diffused lighting as there are no obvious shadows indicating the presence of light, and the clouds indicate that the sun probably was not out. The soft lighting makes the viewer focus less on the fine details and more on the bigger picture. It also emphasizes the desert-like appearance of the ground. Dorothea Lange's photographs will continue to have a lasting impact on generations to come.